Welcome back, my fellow mobile gamers. My name is NimbleThor, and today I have found a really awesome arcade game that I want to share with you all, and the name of the game is Jolt. And if you like 80s retro games, then buckle up, because this might very soon become one of your favorite mobile games. Was that enough of a hype here from the beginning of this video? I hope so, because then let's get started with how this game actually plays. And get ready for me dying, because this game is incredibly hardcore. So we control this little spaceship here who has two helpers here in the beginning, and all we have to do is collect all of these scrap parts here, which I've recently learned is actually what we're picking up. So the more we pick up, the faster our ship starts flying, and oh, as you can see, we enter this new mode here. This looks so cool, and we crashed already. Oh man. Now, what can also happen is that we can just end up destroying one of our helping spaceships that flies on each side of our main ship, and in that case, we just have to be even more precise when picking up those scrap parts, of course, because we only have one ship, so we have way less chance of actually hitting them. We have to be super precise. So when we die, what we can do is we can actually go back here and we can choose to replay the exact level that we played before to see if we can beat our own high score, because normally every new match gets a new randomly generated dungeon. But if we want to go back and see if we can, for example, reach our high score of 283, we can simply click this button, we can spend some of these scrap parts that we now collected, and we can get to retry that level. Now, this specific one is going to cost 283 to retry, but we're still going to do it though. I think we have a very small chance of beating our own record, but we're gonna give it the best we possibly can. 283 points is the record we have to beat. And actually, we're doing great so far. 200 points, 211, 216, 220, 30, 40. Can we do... Oh, this is probably where we died before. This is the tricky part of the level. Come on, we can do this. 279. We got so close. What we might also do when we play these levels, though, is complete some of these achievements. We have 19 achievements in the game, and we've completed 6 of them so far. Player 1 not ready is one we completed. Scoring 50 points is one we've completed. Scoring 100 points without, without leaving any scrap parts behind. Bouncing off the edges of the level 9 times. That was a bit of a tricky one, especially when I first started out. But some of those that are still in progress, though, I just have no idea how we're ever going to complete. Like, for example, perfect score 200, which means we have to pick up 200 scrap parts without leaving any one behind. That one is so insanely difficult. Or bouncing off the walls 9 times and collecting 200 points or 200 scrap parts. But if you're an achievement hunter, I guess it's a good thing that some of these are actually really difficult to achieve. That's part of the fun, right? But we also have global and local leaderboards. What we're looking at on this screen here is, of course, the local one, and here we get to enter a 3-letter name whenever we win, just like in a good old retro arcade machine. I think that's so cool. Let's just try this once more, by the way, and hopefully we'll be able to beat our own high score. Now, by the way, look at the graphics in this game. It is so freaking awesome. I've never seen anything like this before. I've played many retro games, but this is by far the most retro of the retro games I've played. And that's a very good thing, because to be honest, the core gameplay is a bit repetitive, as it is in most arcade games, I guess, but thankfully, the developer is working on more updates. I saw over on Twitter that they were teasing a new update where we get new spaceships, and so there's some sort of progression being added to the game eventually. I would love to see new game modes as well. I know for a fact that there's actually a secret game mode in the game already, so I'm not gonna spoil exactly how you unlock that one, but I really had to do my very worst to find it. It was really difficult, but let me know in the comments down below if you guys have already found it. Please don't spoil the secret, please don't tell everyone how it's done. But if you have found it, let me know though, and we can have our own little secret club for the biggest brain mobile gamers. Or something, I don't know. But anyway, I just love that the developers have added a small Easter egg game mode like this. Easter eggs in mobile games are a very rare find. I don't think I've ever seen any Easter egg actually in a mobile game, but of course in PC and console games, they are a pretty big deal, you know, with some games implementing small things that only the most hardcore players will ever notice, and in some rare cases, also things that only get noticed years after release of the game. But I guess it might just be me that has a deep fascination of Easter eggs. I just love finding them, and actually the cool thing is that if you look for the solution to finding the secret mode in this game online, you won't be able to find any answers, and I think that's so cool. So hopefully, if you find it, don't tell anyone. You can give them a hint, but the game actually also does give us a few hints, and that's how I eventually figured out how to unlock the secret mode. Now, if you actually download this game, you'll probably realize why I'm doing so bad at it, because the controls are really difficult. But if you find them a bit too difficult, I just wanted to show you guys we have some settings for adjusting the controls. First of all, we can change the sensitivity, which is very useful. I found it to be way too high initially, so I had to actually turn it down to about 4, 5, or 6. depending on my mood and the time of the day. And you can then also invert the controls, because the way the controls work right now is that we hold down and then swipe either right or left to move to the opposite direction of the way we're swiping, but then you can invert that, so it might be a bit more logical depending on what you're used to and what you prefer. But I just wanted you guys to be aware of those settings, because without realizing they're there, this game might almost be too difficult depending on how good you are at these types of arcade games. Now, as for how this game monetizes, by the way, we're shown a few advertisements in between levels from time to time, and we can skip those after 5 seconds, and we can also remove them completely from the game through a single $3 in-app purchase, which, in my opinion, is a great way to monetize for a small indie game like this one. This game in particular is made by just a 2-person indie team, so no complaints there. And in fact, overall, this is one of the more interesting arcade games I've played in a while on mobile. The art style is awesome and very retro. The gameplay is solid. It's simple right now, but with the addition of more spaceships and some progression in the game and potentially more game modes, I'm really looking forward to seeing what these developers can come up with in the future with those future updates. So I'm pretty optimistic about this game. But that is just my opinion though. Let me know what you guys think about this game in the comment section down below. And I will then continue now to the mobile gaming news of the day, which is that the Angry Birds makers Rovio have just soft launched yet another game. This time it's a new title that I really didn't expect to see from them though, because it's a turn-based RPG game called Angry Birds Legends. And from the looks of it, it's your typical team-based strategy RPG, which most likely means gacha elements and maybe also an energy system, because why not? But we'll have to see about that. It's really just speculation from my side at this point, but I'll be sure to cover the game as soon as I can get my hands on it, so stay tuned for that. And for now, thank you very much for spending a few minutes with me here today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was a bit of a shorter one, but also it's a bit of a more simple game than the usual games we cover here on the channel, but I hope that some of you guys enjoy these arcade games. And if that's the case, or you just enjoyed the video anyways, then be sure to smack that like button on your way out, because then, until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.